last time we read, Marty and his dad were dropping off the mail at Judd Travers, and Marty said, his name is Shiloh. And so now we're reading chapter 4, which is reading 5, and it starts out, Marty, Dad says when we're around the bend, sometimes you don't have the sense to shut up. You go telling a man what to call his dog? But I'm mad too. Better than calling him Git or Scram. Judd Travers has the right to name his dog anything he likes or nothing at all. And you've got to get it through your head that it's his dog, not yours. And put your mind to other things. The Jeep bounces along for a good long mile before I speak again. I can't, Dad, I say finally. And this time, his voice is gentle. Well, son, you've got to try. I eat my peanut butter and soda cracker sandwiches with Dad at noon, plus the zucchini bread Miss Ellison left in her mailbox for him. And after all the Sears catalogs and mail is delivered, we head back to Sistersville post office. I get my Coca-Cola at the gas station while Dad finishes up, and we start home. I forget about looking for cans and bottles. The can I'm holding is the only one I got. Judd Travers goes hunting near every weekend, don't he? I asked Dad. I suppose he does. You can shoot at just about anything that moves. Of course not. You can only shoot at what's in season. I'm thinking now. I'm thinking how, about a year ago, I was fooling around up on the ridge and come across a dead dog, a dead beagle, with a hole in its head. Never said anything because what was there to say? Someone's out hunting, got a dog by mistake, I figured. It happens. But the more I think on it now, I wonder if it wasn't Judd Travers shooting a dog on purpose. Shooting one of his own dogs that didn't please him. Dad's still talking. We've got a new game warden in the county, and I hear he's plenty tough. Used to be a man could kill a deer on his own property any time if that deer was eating his garden. Warren would look the other way. The warden would look the other way. But they tell me the new warden will fine you good. Well, that's the way it ought to be, I guess. What if a man's shooting his dog? I ask. Dad looks over at me. Dogs aren't ever in season, Marty. No, you know that. But what if a man shoots one anyway? Well, that would be up to the sheriff to decide what to do, I guess. And the next day, I start early and set out on the main road to Friendly with a plastic bag. Got me 11 cans, and that's all. Could walk my legs off for a year and never even have enough to buy half a dog. The questions I tried not to think about before comes back to me now. Would Judd Travers want to sell Shiloh at all? And how much would he want for him if he did? And even if I got Shiloh for my very own, how was I supposed to feed him? There aren't many leftover scraps of anything at our house. Every extra bite of pork chop or boiled potato or spoonful of peas gets made into soup. And if I had enough money for me to have a dog and buy its food and pay the vet and everything, I would have had one by now. Darrell Lynn's been begging for a cat for over a year, and isn't that we're rock poor. Trouble is that Grandma Preston's got real feeble and she's being cared for by Dad's sister over in Clarksburg. Have to have nurses anytime Aunt Hattie's goes out, and every spare cent we got goes to pay for Grandma's care. Nothing's left over to feed a dog. But I figure to get to that problem later on. I wonder if maybe in time, if I ever see Shiloh again, I'll forget about him. Or if I never see Shiloh again, I'll forget about him. But then I'm lying on the couch that night after everyone else has gone to bed, and I hear this far-off sound again, like a dog crying. Not barking, not howling, not even whining, crying. And I got this awful ache in my chest. I wonder if it is a dog. If it's Shiloh. I know you want a dog, Marty, Ma says to me on Thursday. She's sitting at the kitchen table with cardboard boxes all around her, folding a stack of letters and putting them in envelopes. Ma gets work to do at home any time she can. I wish we had the money so every one of you kids could have a pet. But with Grandma seeming to need more care, we just don't, and that's it. I nod. Ma knows me better than I know myself sometimes, but she don't know this straight. I don't want just any dog. I want Shiloh because he needs me bad. It's Friday morning when I hear the sound. Dad's off on the mail route, and Darylyn and Becky's watching cartoons on TV, and Ma's out on the back porch washing clothes in an old washing machine that don't work. Only the wringer part works, and if you turn it by hand. And I'm sitting at the table wanting a piece of bread spread out with lard and jam. When I hear the noise, I know is Shiloh. Only the softest kind of noise, and right close. And I fold the bread up, jelly to the inside, and stick it in my pocket, and we go out the front door. Shiloh's under the sycamore, head on his paws, just like the day he followed me home in the rain. Soon as I see him, I know two things. Judd Travers has taken his dogs out hunting like he said, and Shiloh's run away from the pack, and I'm not going to take him back. Not now, not ever. I don't have time to think how I promised Judd if I ever saw Shiloh loose again, I'd bring him home. Bring him back. Don't even think what I'm going to tell Dad. All I know right then is that I have to get Shiloh away from this house, where none of the family will see him. I run barefoot down to the front steps and over to where Shiloh is lying, his tail just thumping like crazy in the grass. Shiloh, I whisper, and gather him up in my arms. His body is shaking all over, but I don't try to get away. Don't creep off from me the way he did the first time. And I hold him close and careful as I carry Becky when she's asleep. And I start off up to the far hill, into the woods, carrying my dog. I know that if I was to see Judd Travers that every minute with his rifle, I'd tell him he'd have to shoot me before I'd ever let him near Shiloh again. Wow. That is the end of reading 5. So go to your Google Doc, fill out your amazing summary, questions, predictions, and thoughts, and we'll see you next time.